everybody, welcome to my channel. I got my beautiful SoftFlex design kit for this month. It's called Wild Mushroom. I absolutely love this kit for so many reasons. For one thing, I'm crazy about a few of the special things that they put in their kit. It's always a surprise every month what the team over there is going to add in to this kit, and they partner with Jesse James Bead, so there's always one of those wonderful bead mixes. But I love this kit so much because it's very autumnal to me, and I am so over this summer heat and so ready for autumn, ready for fall jewelry. And I love these pumpkin and butterscotch colors and the chocolates in here, and I love that it is dotted with a little bit of purple. So the SoftFlex kit, they're so innovative. Every month they tie it in this beautiful tissue with a little, it's like a exciting little gift to yourself, like a little package. And this month there was this beautiful cotton cord, which I was looking at this with some cord ends on the end. This would make a great eyeglass chain. I have done bookmarkers with these before, and I've even I cannot talk. I didn't made it. I have made this into a strand of a multi-strand bracelet before, because they always put such high quality things just tying the package. So in the kit, I'm just going to show you what we have, and I really want to make a necklace because I'm in love with a few of the things in this box. So first off, my favorite bead stringing wire is the 49 strand, but this is the Butterscotch Imperial Topaz color, and I just love this color. As we're going into fall, it's so delicious. It's so neutral and just goes with everything. And you know, I have to say something about the SoftFlex design kit. I overlooked it for so many years because I would go on the website, buy my 49 strand. I love their craft wire. Nobody makes a number 2 creme tube like the SoftFlex company. And for me, it was kind of like those staple behind the scenes things. And when I started my YouTube channel and started buying the kit to review for you guys, I realized that I'd been overlooking something really amazing. It's a great value, and you always get a spool of their bead stringing wire, which is the best on the market in my opinion. And you know, like I said, a Jesse James bead mix. So I'm really excited. That's why I can't talk. But anyway, I am going to be stringing on that. And then we got some number 2 crimp tubes in copper, which I just love getting that. We got copper ear wires with, there's 2 sets in here with the ball, and a copper lobster claw clasp. So I'll be using these for the end of my necklace. And then I love these ceramic beads. Don't they look like candy? They look like some kind of a cookie that's been dipped in chocolate. I just love them, and I love the large hole. There's just so many stringing possibilities. And I even love the little clay stopper beads that are on the end. Those would make great little spacer beads. So these are 10 millimeter brown ceramic. And then they're so cool with their little teeny tiny little things they put in. This little blue ceramic mushroom, isn't it the cutest thing? It has its little mushroom spots on the top. That is so sweet. And I love to add in like sweet little charms like I've done on this bracelet, and that is just absolutely like a little secret, it's like adding a little treasure, a little find onto one of your designs to make a little dangle out of that little guy. I love him. And then this was one of the special things, like they always do something special in their box, but this is a toggle clasp from Green Girls Studios. I love this so much. I wanted to order one of these, and I just absolutely love it. So this is going to be the toggle front. Well, it's not going to actually act as a toggle. It's going to act as a finding. It's going to act as a connector in my necklace project, but I just love that. I think it's gorgeous. And then we got the Jesse James Beads custom bead mix, which is called Wild Mushroom. I emptied my little pot. I just love these little pots full of beads. I mean, can't you just get lost in a good bead mix? And look at this one. Like I said, I just love the autumnal colors, like this kind of cinnamon colored rose. And look at this coin, crystal faceted twisted coin bead. There's a couple of those in there. There's some gorgeous ceramic beads in here, but I love how it's dotted with this really pale lavender. It's like a wildflower color, and there are even some beryl beads, some crystal beryl beads in here. So I just love dotting this with lavender. And look at these bicones. These gold metallic bicones are just gorgeous. And there's some oblong, really dark, like brown to eggplant color. And oh gosh, I love these too. And I'm probably going to have to get a piece of wire, because these, I won't be able to get my fingers out of the way of these, but out of the way because they're so little. But look at these little sparkle ball spacers in that dark, rich purple. I mean, what a cool color combination. And I love lava beads that are electroplated with metallics like gold and silver. Look at that. So that's, to me, this is very wild mushroom, because it's so textural and organic, and it's natural, but then it's gilded. So I just love that. And then here's more of the colors coming up in the season, that autumn gold. I just love it, love it. And one of my favorite spacers that I haven't been able to find online anymore are these. It's a disc spacer, but it's shaped like a flower. And I have a few left that I've had for years, and they have shown up in this mix. So it's just gorgeous. Let's see, did I miss anything? I got that. These little flowers I showed you, but these little cinnamon colored flowers, they're just beautiful. I just love this mix. Couldn't be happier. Oh, there's a bead cap I forgot to show you. Really pretty little cone-shaped bead cap. I love that sweet little custom bead mix. And then there's additional items. There is a 6mm, oh, I think that's these, a 6mm simple cut glass amethyst bead. This is gorgeous. So it has really beautiful cuts on it, but it's got soft, smooth edges. And again, I am crazy about this lavender color with these kind of cinnamons and chocolates. Look how gorgeous that is. I love it. This box just speaks to me. I think I'm really ready for a season change. And then this is so cool. In the summer, the SoftFlex design kit had these bamboo beryl beads in kind of a natural, kind of the color of my basket. And I love them. I did the coolest bracelet with these, kind of turned them into a ladder, but they're very lightweight. They're really dimensional. I love the long elongated shape of them. They're just cool. And these are in a dark brown. It's so dark, I almost see like a little bit of the purple in there. But that is just a really cool bead. And then there's a check glass mix. So there's these cool oversized rondelles, and they're in that opalescent color. It looks like a candy. I mean, that looks like a butterscotch or something that you could put in your mouth, or a caramel. And then look at these kind of twisted pillow beads. They're just slightly twisted. And here's the same bead but frosted. Aren't they beautiful? Like, this just screams autumn. And lately I have been having fun turning these large beads into components, like laying my wire on them and doing cool designs, and those are perfect for that. And then there is a rust brown travertine tri-cut oval bead strand. I love the travertine finish on check glass. It is my favorite finish. It's not as common as the Picasso finish, but I just love it. And you can see the table cut sides on this, and again, it's slightly oblong. What a beautiful check glass strand. I love that so much. And then my very favorite thing in the box, at least one of my favorites, I have quite a few favorites, is this articulated owl. Isn't he awesome? His little like feathers are connected and he's articulated so he jingles, and I love his crystal eyes. He is so detailed. You can see all his little beak, and just look at his little tail feather. This is just a gorgeous charm. I would actually wear this if I had another one as earrings. I just love him, but he's going to be you might have guessed it, he's going to be the pendant on my necklace. So I'm going to add in from my stash some 11.0 gold Toho seed beads, and these are left over from something, these little seed beads. I'm just going to dump them out. They're unmarked. I do know that they're 11.0. I don't even know. I have a little like box of miscellaneous seed beads that were left over, but look at this seed bead with like the color in the box. It's absolutely perfect. It's just like, isn't it cool? I mean, I just love that. I love using my own scraps and leftovers to accomplish something new. It's really fun. So I'm going to dump some gold ones out here. And on that note, this box is mixed gold and silver because it's all gold findings in the Jesse James bead mix, but then the Owl and the Green Girl Studio is in the silver. And I love mixing gold and silver. Gold is my favorite metallic, but I love the contrast with the gold and silver. You get a really pretty look, and a lot of times it makes both things show up a lot better in a design. So let me just clean up a little bit, cut my length here, and let's get started making a necklace. Okay, it sort of occurred to me that this is called Wild Mushroom, and that it's curated with copper findings, the crimp tubes and ear wires, but the Green Girl Studio and the Owl were silver, and the Jesse James bead mix was gold. And so in keeping with it being wild, I've pulled out some silver 8.0 seed beads and some copper 8.0 seed beads. I have gold as well, but I felt like there was enough gold. And so I'm going to do a really relaxing, really autumnal, just beautiful stringing project and just mix all these metallic elements and all of these wild mushroom colors. So to start off with, I took a really long length of the 49 strand bead stringing wire because I like long necklaces. I strung on one of the crimp tubes and I just created a little pattern with the 11.0 seed beads, just 3 purples, a gold, 3 purples, a gold, and I'm going to make a loop here, and this loop is going to be the front closure on the Green Girl Studio toggle clasp. Like I said, I love that clasp, and I saw it in silver online. If it comes in copper or antique gold, I would love to have another one of those, so I may go searching for that. But I'm just going to start out by making a loop, and before I commit, I just want to see that it fits snugly on there, and it does. I feel like that, let's see, let me play with this a little bit before I crimp, because sometimes a little bit of extra seed beads will make this hang right, and I do kind of feel like I need just another gold and 3 more purple. I just feel like I need a tiny bit more length just to make it go around this hook right. So I'm going to do another gold and 3 more purple. I don't want the loop to be so big that it's going to slip off of this hook, but I didn't want it to be super tight either. So I am started off, take my magical crimping plier and fit that tube right in the center. When I feel that it's gone in the center, which I just felt it go in, close it, and now there's 4, didn't close, didn't squeeze hard enough. Now there's 4 pinched corners to the tube. It's a square now, and in the opposite direction, close it again, and then just hold the tube in the divot and open and close and rotate at the same time. And I can feel now that it's not doing anything more, so now that is a little copper bead. I love crimping that way. And so this is going to clasp right here, and when I come around, I'm going to bead the whole length of this, and when I come back around, I'm going to crimp onto this loop right here, and then from this loop I'm going to do my owl, and I've already started a little component here that's going to go above the owl. So I just did a wire wrapped loop, and I left this wire hanging out in case I want to embellish or spiral anything. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. That's why I have such a long length. But I'm going to go ahead and string first, and I've kind of organized my bead mix and the beads that I love. I cut open my strands, and between my seed beads and these, I'm just going to make a really fun, relaxing stringing project. So for here, since this is going to be the very front of the necklace, I just want to choose my bead, my first bead, to be something I really love, and I'm crazy about these little sparkle beads. So I'm going to do one of these. It's already so gorgeous, and I literally have only 2 beads on. And I'm just going to string away, just creating a pattern and mixing my gold, silver, and copper. So I'm just going to play a little bit. Okay, so I kind of have my pattern off and running, so to speak. I did a little, a little heavier beads here where it's going to clasp to this beautiful hook in the front. And then I've created 3 little bead stations here, and I'm going to keep going. And as this goes around the neck, I'm going to use more seed beads and less of the bigger beads. And then when I'm strung to this end where it's going to come back and attach right here, I want to save out like these lavender beads, a couple of these. I want to save a few things, a few of the discs, so that when this side comes around and meets right here, I have another pretty section in the front. I don't want it to be too matchy-matchy. I'm keeping in mind the sort of wild rose, or not wild rose, a wild mushroom theme. So I'm just going to keep stringing like this. And like I said, now it's going to be mostly seed beads, and I think I will use up these guys, intersperse them in with the seed beads, but it's going to be mostly seed beads from here on. And I'm going to mix in, I actually think that I am going to get out some 6/0 gold, or maybe stick with these 11/0 ones that I have here. As I start stringing my length, I'll make those design decisions, but I'm going to do this off camera, and I'll check back in with you guys and show you what it's looking like. Okay, I have strung my whole length, and I've saved out a few beads here for my drop. And what I discovered with this really cool clasp is that I need gravity to help me to keep this loop on when my necklace is on. So I'm not going to be able to do what I had intended, which was this, and then hang my pendant part from the loop. It's just not going to stay. So let me get it crimped, and I'll show you my solution for that. So normally I would go ahead and make this loop and then attach it with jump rings to my clasp. But for some reason today, I feel like doing it this way. I just think it's going to look better. So what I did is I finished my pattern, and I'll show you what kind of about my bead stations and what my pattern is. But I finished my pattern, and then I strung on a number 2 crimp tube, and it's just what we did on the other end. And I did the exact same pattern with 3 of my opaque purple, a gold, 3 purple, a gold, and just kind of got the sweet size that I want. And I'm going to run my wire back down through my crimp tube, and I'm pretty sure that it will go through the number 8 seed beads. I'm pretty sure. Let's try. I like it when I can trim away from where I'm crimping a little bit. See if it's going to go in the copper ones too. Yep, it does. Okay, that's going to be great. So I can come down here after it's crimped and trim. See my little tail poking out? I'm going to get a hold of that with my pliers and just give it a little tug. So like I said, normally I would be making this loop and doing jump rings here, but I'm going to crimp this directly to my closure. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm not crimping in a straight line. So I'll show you my pattern. You already saw this. This is where I started, and I did 3 bead stations that are going to be like the focal. And then I went into more seed beads, but I used up all those check glass beads. I just love the autumnal color and the shape and the little kind of table cut windows. And so I used up every single one of those, just mixing my 3 seed beads, copper, gold, silver, all the way through. And then when this necklace comes back around to the front of the neck, there's some interest here. So I use the crystals from the mix to do this little bead station, and then it goes into it's kind of pattern blocking. Then there's this mini pattern here, my same seed bead pattern, and then another mini pattern, and then it goes down into where it's going to clasp. So let me crimp it and I'll show you where my pendant is going to have to go. Oh, I was grabbing my cutters before I crimp. Oh, and I am so easily sidetracked. I feel like I have this very fluid. It's just a good idea, especially when you're making long necklaces, which I do a lot of, to not crimp in a straight line. And just check and see. You know, I want it to be able to flow a little bit, and I do. I have a little bit of space in between everything. So it's going to be the same thing on this end. My only thing I'll say here, if you're still practicing with your magical crimping plier, when you are crimping on either, you know, with seed beads on either side, just make sure before you close down that you're not closing down on a seed bead, because you'll break it and then you'll have to restring. So I feel that it's right in the center, so I'm going to close. So I've turned the tube into a square, and now I'm going to go in the opposite direction, and before I close this time, make sure that I feel it's right in the center and it just went in, and close in that direction. And now I'm just going to get around my stringing and go around a few times. Now with the magical crimping plier and the number 2 crimp tube, a couple of things. A number 2 crimp tube is a 2mm crimp tube, and when it is crimped, it is really similar in size to an 11/0 seed bead. So it really kind of mimics your seed beads, but it's quite small. As you can see, it's quite small. So sometimes, especially where I'm making a transition, like from a loop to my stringing, sometimes I'll go ahead and put a crimp cover over it. It's such a pretty way to crimp. You don't really need it, but just for size sake, sometimes I will go back and, you know, put a crimp cover over it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. Let me just pull out of the camera for 1 second so I can get it clasped. My long necklace. I'm going to let it kind of go off my work mat. But what's going to happen here is that I'm going to have to do this where my closure is not down here at the middle, but where it's onto the side. So when this is on the body, the gravity is helping me. So my closure is like that. And so I had wanted it to be in the center, but it's not going to work. This might be better for a bracelet closure, but it's so pretty. And I just really wanted it on the front of my necklace. So in order for gravity to, you know, help me keep the necklace closed, it's going to be like that. And I strung a little area here with these purple seed beads. So, and it doesn't really look like it's supposed to on my mat. But, and let me do this way. There we go. So it'll be really pretty on the body, but this little section right here, that little section right there is where I'm going to hang my pendant when I get it made. So it's the 11/0 seed beads. So this will go through here, and I just created like a little component with gold, silver, copper, and I have some copper jump rings here that I made. I'll just dump them all out, and just to keep all the different metallics going. Let's get this wrapped and embellished I already did one side, and I'm letting that wire just hang out in case I want to do something else with it. And I'm just going to get a hold of my wire right where the stack of beads is. And so I love that this is like, because it's wild mushroom, I don't know, the word wild, and I love the poetry of jewelry is just like wild, like wild and brambly. So like none of my components are really too contrived, and the metals are all mixed up, and it's really cool. So I'm going to wrap this right down. I just want to secure this square shaped coin bead. It's beautifully faceted with mitered corners, and I just want to like secure this component so that it's facing forward. So I'm gonna get this wire in, like just gently tuck it in there, and it'll straighten up my loop. And so now that's nice and secure. Looks great. Just tidy up my loops a little bit before I move on. And like from here, I have this wire to embellish a little bit, and I think I will use that, but I think I'm going to probably not use the bottom one. So let me wrap it around to what is going to be the back and snip it and tuck it. And warm my wire, and I'm going to hold everything with my thumb and forefinger, and or you can use your pliers to hold things, but I'm just going to wrap this wire. It's 20 gauge wire, so it's not super easy to wrap with your hand. In fact, you know, if I hold my loop with my plier, I'll have an easier time. I just want to get it around. Just want to get it around my gold bead and come back around. Okay, that's perfect. I'm going to trim this a little bit because that would be a huge spiral. And I'm just going to come with my round nose plier and make a little loop here. Close that loop, and then I'm going to do a nice neat spiral just in small increments. Just coil this down, just pushing it against my finger. One more coil in there, and then I'm going to just use my thumb to lay it down on that square. I call this square coin beads, but isn't that a gorgeous component? I just love it. Just going to use my nylon jaw plier to really snuggle that spiral down to the bead and just straighten up my loops a tiny bit. Gorgeous. Okay, so I am ready to connect, and I just have to decide how I want to do that. And I think it's going to go like that. So it's going to be a 3-piece articulated pendant that goes down into my owl. And I'm going to take 2 jump rings that are the same size and put them through my first loop here. And so I'm just going to do the double jump rings just for the looks of it. And it's going to go right here over this little purple section. When you do double jump rings, you just have to be careful that you're not intertwining them before you close them. Just rest them right beside each other so it looks like that. Isn't that pretty? And I just love mixing the copper, the gold, and the silver. I think it's amazing. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more jump rings here and 2 more for my owl. Okay, this beautiful piece, this wild mushroom piece is done. I know that my long necklaces never fit on my mat and it's really hard to see, but the main part is this beautiful clasp, and the way that the purples are like just dotted in here is just so pretty. So I will put up some better pictures, maybe even take this over to Gabriella Eva, although sometimes even on the mannequin, a really long necklace, just you really need to see it in person. So I will definitely put this in my try-on video so that you can see it in person, and I will put links in the description box to the SoftFlex company. And you guys, if you've never purchased their monthly design challenge kit, give it a try. I've really never been unsatisfied with it. I always find inspiration, and you always get so much. And the cool thing is it's not a subscription. You don't have to sign up to receive something every month. You can just go on the website and purchase the kit when it becomes available. And they do so many videos and live streams with the kit, so there's just so many creators giving you ideas for even all the things you could make with it. So it's just like so great all the way around, and it always has check glass in it. They always put some kind of a surprise. Today it was the gorgeous Green Girl Studio toggle clasp. I just love this box. This it's not a box, it's a design challenge kit. So I thank you so much for watching. All my tools and everything are always listed in the description box with links. So if you're newer, and I do know there's a lot of you that are just starting on your jewelry making journey, and you're gathering things, anything that you see me use, if I can link it, it is there in the box. So I hope everybody's enjoying the last little bit of summer, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, everybody.